Today on Fresno State Focus, we'll see what students are doing to stay fit.
Plus, we'll hear from a rape survivor and see how she's using her experience to help other victims. Hello and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Tamara Hill.
And I'm Megan Roop. From diets to yoga, people all over the country are trying anything to stay healthy. Reporter Brian Felix tells us what students are doing on and off campus to stay fit and in shape.
Students at Fresno State are trying all sorts of things in an effort to stay healthy. With obesity at its all-time highest in the country, students are testing out new diets and fitness trends just to stay fit. Luckily for students at Fresno State, the Rec Center has tons of opportunities to help get the body moving. The Rec Center first opened its doors in February of 2006. An average of 1,000 students go to the Rec Center on any given day. So it's no surprise that almost 2 million students have gone to the Rec Center since its opening. The Rec Center has fitness equipment and group fitness classes, such as Zumba, Body Pump, and Body Flow.
So Body Flow is a mixture of yoga, Tai Chi, and Pilates. So we completely work out every muscle in your body. So you kind of get that a little aggressive adrenaline running, and you gotta fight it out as you work out.
But the Rec Center doesn't have everything a student needs to stay fit. Students also need to have the drive to want to get in shape. Rachel Kaufman is a fitness and promotions coordinator at the Rec Center, and she says that staying active is the most beneficial thing you can do for yourself.
I mean, literally name something that could go wrong with you, and being in shape and eating healthy can probably at least alleviate it.
Staying active is easy. All it takes is picking up a pair of running shoes and going for a walk.
Most activities at the Student Rec Center are paid through tuition, so the only thing you'll be losing by working out is those extra pounds you gained your freshman year. Brian Felix, Fresno State Focus.
FSR gospel hit radio personality and now author Doc Lewis has a unique life story. He was born 4 months premature and weighed only 8 ounces. Doctors even claimed he was brain dead. Doc Lewis is here today to talk about his remarkable story and his new book, Let Me Tell You My Story. Thank you for joining us today, Doc.
I'm certainly glad to be here, Mrs. Hill. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So tell me a little bit more about your book.
My book is called Let Me Tell You My Story. I sat down with my mom about 4 years ago before she passed, and she gave me this information. And my book talks about the cerebral palsy, the 2 years that I spent in the hospital without going out as a child, the 8 surgeries that I had, the polio also in my left leg, talks severely about going through that process, being in a wheelchair for 9 months, not able to do anything. And so it goes through that, and it helps kids all over America, children's hospitals all over America, and we are talking to kids about this book.
Wow, that's awesome. So what made you want to share your story?
My sister talked to me one day when we was, I think it was about probably 10 years old. She said, look, I was really getting ready to commit suicide because of this fact. And she said, for this cause, you don't know you're in the world and you need to tell your story to everybody. So we talked, and I said, well, people call you all kinds of names and all of that. That's what they called me, all kinds of rude names. So I begin to take that as a positive and say, well, let me tell you my story, and let me tell you the entails of what's going on with me and what happened. And that's how we're doing it.
Wow, that's amazing. So what helped you get through all these obstacles that you faced?
What helped me get through it is family, love. When I came home from school, special schools, braces I had to wear for all day, I guess 14 hours a day wearing braces on my left leg. So when I came home, I needed the love that from my brothers and sisters that I needed to go through this situation.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, thank you for being
so
here today
much.
with us. If you would like to read Doc Lewis's new book, Let Me Tell You My Story, it will be available within the next few months. Thank you for coming again, Doc Lewis.
I am
really
so honored.
appreciate
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Fresno movement to give resources to women who've been victimized is getting a little help from a martial arts studio. I spoke to the group's founder to learn more about the fight 8 brave women are waging against domestic violence.
Cupcakes, glitter, and the color pink aren't something you usually see next to a title belt. But on Saturday, the color pink was all over Thrive MMA in Fresno. The The women gathered as part of the Pinup Kitten Lorraine movement, which founder Lorraine Jones started after she was raped.
With personal struggle, I didn't know that there was resources, and I didn't want to speak out, and I knew how it felt to be embarrassed and ashamed.
Jones started the sisterhood to help victimized women get to resources during tough times.
It's a tornado. Some people fight and struggle and they make it through. Some people don't, and I want to make sure that we catch those people that don't.
Lorraine brought her positive sisterhood to Thrive MMA in Fresno to learn some self-defense moves and a little about their own strength in the process.
I just want to be able to knock you out with my thumb. That's pretty much it.
Erin Hawkins, a member of the sisterhood, says she wishes she had this training earlier in her life.
To have known about something like this beforehand and just been able to protect myself, because you never know. I mean, it always comes from the people that you trust the most.
The lesson was also personal for Thrive's head boxing coach, Brian Williams.
I grew up as an abused child, a molested child. I went through so much.
Williams has been boxing for more than 20 years and is also a police officer. Today, he uses his background and skills to teach women how to fight back.
I've been through it. You can work your way through it. I won't allow someone who victimized me make a determination what I do with my life or how my life goes.
You are beautiful, you are worth it, you are amazing, and somebody out there loves you, and you have 8 women of the Positive Sisterhood that do love you and think you are worth it.
For information on the Pinup Kitten Lorraine movement or future classes, email Lorraine Jones at pinupkittenlorraine@gmail.com.
Downtown Fresno just got a little sweeter. Little Bean Cafe opened last February in the heart of Fulton Mall. Guillermo Moreno, his wife and mother, own the new coffee shop. He chose downtown because he believed in a strong urban environment. Along with coffee, the cafe also offers sweet, savory crepes. Moreno says the crepes' European style is unique to the Central Valley. But head barista Ryan Rhodes says the coffee shop is for more than just food and drinks.
A place for people to find a haven, to just enjoy coffee and build community.
That even though his shop is still new, it will be a success for Fulton Mall. And the cafe is open for business, coffee, crepes, and friendly friends every weekday.
Coming up on Fresno State Focus, we'll hear about the scientific discovery that could tell us more about the beginnings of our universe.
Plus, we'll see the technology has changed the history of books. All that when we come back. A scientific breakthrough could show us more about the birth of our universe. Reporter Jeff Smith tells us more about the clues from the beginning of time.
Scientists from Stanford University have discovered microwave evidence from the beginning of time, or at least pretty close to the beginning of time, less than 1/trillionth of a second after the large event known as the Big Bang. Professor of Physics Dr. Fred Ringwald says that if this evidence can hold up to scrutiny, this could be huge.
In order to be considered scientific, in order to be considered science, any scientific idea has to make predictions that you can test by experiment. And this is it. This is the experimental confirmation of inflationary cosmology, of the inflationary cosmos.
The theory for how the universe came to be was thought up over 30 years ago and was called inflation.
Early universe, the universe was incredibly small, and that for some reason, right, it underwent what was called inflation. It basically increased in size by something like 10 to the 50, 10 to the 60 orders of magnitude. So in other words, it blew up by 60 orders of magnitude in just fractions of a second.
While the experiment to prove that the theory of inflation was true was done via satellite and from Antarctica, you don't need to be an astronaut or brave the cold to see the cosmos.
For students at Fresno State who are interested in astronomy, you can come here to the Downing Planetarium and see everything the universe has to offer.
From our solar system to a galaxy far, far away, there is now evidence of rapid expansion that could lead some scientists to a Nobel Prize. Jeff Smith, Fresno State Focus.
Over the weekend, Fresno State's The Bucket restaurant was transformed into a hotspot for fashion, music, dance, and acting. Nigel Burton organized the event and is the founder of one of the lines it showcased. Burton says the show was an interesting experience in organizing and bringing everyone together.
I planned it all by myself as far as, connecting people, finding the stylist, finding everything for it, and then connecting these people. And it was very interesting, but it was awesome. Just come bring a diverse group of people together. Everybody's from Fresno State, or based out of Fresno, so it was really cool, like a huge Fresno collective.
You can order from Just Be Dope at justbedopebigcartel.com or follow Burton on Instagram at justbedopelifestyle.
One Fresno State graduate is representing her alma mater as part of Women's History Month. Reporter Juliana Gomez has more on the artist and her photography.
In honor of Women's History Month, Arte Americas presents their Viva la Mujer exhibition. One featured photographer is a Fresno native and Fresno State alumna, Rosa Elena Alvarez. Although she did not start out as a photography major, she soon realized that's what she wanted to do.
Once I took a film photography class, I knew that that was it. Like, that's what I needed to do, because I felt very comfortable and there was a lot of passion going into it.
Coming from a strict Mexican background, her parents do not approve of her artistic career. Rosa's favorite picture is one in which she is facing her parents dressed in black, symbolizing the black sheep of the family. It is titled, Will You Ever Be Pleased? Tony Carranza, Arte America's curator, picked Rosa Elena's work because it is easy for people to connect with.
People can relate to feeling vulnerable. People can relate to not feeling beautiful. People can relate to, feelings of, inadequate.
An artist reception for the photographer had many people lined up to hear her speak about her art. One fellow artist was touched by the emotion that came from Rosa's work.
It's just about being human, and she has the courage to be vulnerable and to show a very human part of herself.
The museum also hosts different events that go along with the theme of the exhibition.
There's a lot of different workshops that we tie in so that people can come in and think about the exhibit in a different way.
All of the events hosted by Arte Americas are free to the public. Viva la Mujer will run until Mother's Day. Rosa's word of advice to fellow art students is to have no regrets, move forward, and to create artwork that means something to you. Juliana Gomez, Fresno State Focus.
Effective June 1st, Fresno State will have a new provost. Alumna Dr. Lynette Zalesny has been a faculty member for more than 20 years and is with us today to talk about her newest appointment on campus. Thank you for being here, Dr.
Nice to be here, Megan.
So first off, let's talk a little bit about what being provost means for you.
Very good. I think most students really wonder what the word provost stands for. So it's the chief academic officer at the university. It's the person that actually is in second command, so it really is an important job. Real honor to work alongside President Castro as his second in command. And my job as the chief academic officer is to make sure that students have high quality education. I'm working constantly with our faculty, with our deans and leadership to make sure that, again, academic programs are excellent.
Excellent. That's good to hear.
Yes.
I know we like that. And also, you already have been working with Dr. Castro. You are the head of his committee, his tablet committee. Can you tell us a little bit about how you're going to be implementing those ideas at Fresno State?
Super exciting initiative. Thanks for asking me about that, Megan. The new initiative has been branded. It's called Discover with a lowercase e, Discovery at Fresno State. And this is an exciting program. Our inaugural faculty is 40 faculty members from throughout the different colleges. We are training for redesigned classrooms. Those classrooms will be reimagined using tablets, and students will actually be, let's talk about mass communications and journalism, be filming, uploading their interviews, and editing those interviews using tablets. And we expect that about 1,200 students will have opportunities for tablet learning next fall. And again, very exciting initiative. We're scaling up, and as you know, President Castro is very much into technology. So super, super important initiative for us.
It's very important, and also you're in charge of another massive grant, a multi-million-dollar grant to help certain students at Fresno State. Can you tell me a little bit about that grant and how you're in charge of that?
Absolutely, the Title V grant, and that grant is specifically for our underrepresented students that we're trying to close the achievement gap. So we know that we're working on graduation rates here at Fresno State for all, but one of the things that's very important is that all of our students are graduating on time. So we're working hard on making making sure that those students have special opportunities to stay engaged in the classroom. We retain those students so they're doing excellently. We coach them to go into redesigned classrooms, much like the tablet classroom, and we're finding that we're being very successful. We have about 1,000 students that go through that grant every year, and 30% of those students are underrepresented, and the gains have been very significant.
Well, we wish you the best in all of your endeavors, Dr. Zalesny, and we hope to see you around on campus.
Megan, thank you, and congratulations. Wonderful to be on the show.
Thank you so much. We've been speaking with Fresno State's new provost, Dr. Lynette Zalesny. Thank you again for being here, Doctor.
With graduation right around the corner, seniors are getting ready for the real world. Abigail Martin tells us how Career Services is helping students transition into a new phase of life.
Free help. They're going to get paid somehow, and that's
Fresno State students gathered at the University Business Center to learn about what to expect after graduation. The Career Services Office held the Life After College Conference to help students prepare for the next phase in their lives. Conference coordinator Nora Marmolejo explains what the conference provides.
Graduating seniors, even our juniors, those students that are getting a little bit closer to graduation, with information as to what to expect, after college. What does the real world have for them, and how can they prepare for that?
About a dozen presenters spoke on topics such as how to dress for job interviews, how to set goals for the future, and how to choose the right healthcare plan. Ryan D. Young from D. Young Properties was one of the presenters.
So today we talked about homeowners' buying power, as well as their credit score, how do they get a loan, and simply the purchase process and looking for a new home.
The Life After College Conference is part of the Senior Experience Program coordinated by the Career Services Office. The program aims to help students successfully transition from college life to the work world. Student Edgar Tamayo learned about budgeting finances while attending a session with University Controller Anthony Forrester.
I definitely enjoyed it. There was a lot of valuable information. The presenter was really good, and he knew what he was talking about and stuff like that.
This encourages Marmolejo.
It's definitely very rewarding.
The Career Services Office will also host a networking mixer for students and professionals in the month of April. Abigail Martin, Fresno State Focus.
The Henry Madden Library is playing host to a new display. Reporter Jody Parkinson takes us inside the Turning Pages exhibit and shows us how books and technology collide.
Typewriters are a highlight in this space where technology and books collide. Visit the Explore and Discover wall to open doors to flipbooks, view Masters of Classic books, and more. Rio Vista Middle School student Erica Ramos says technology makes using books a whole lot easier.
You can just carry the book wherever you want it to be. If you're on an airplane or in the car trying to study or something, you can just have it there.
Turning Pages is an exhibit held at the Leon S. Peters Ellipse Gallery. The Arnie Nixon Center for the Study of Children's Literature puts on the exhibit. The center's curator, Jennifer Crow, says society's adopted technologies create content in books.
So we have something on, the old telephones. There's a little poem in one of them that says, ring-a-ling-ling, the telephone is a novel thing, because it was back then, and this was printed in 1902. So it's
Crow says the historical displays include the history of writing on papyrus and clay, printing by Gutenberg, and the library's oldest book. The center was inspired by the printing press and old technology.
Displays like this printing press don't just sit behind the glass at the Turning Pages exhibit. The owner of it actually shows how it works. There's this stamp here that stamps onto paper, and it actually turns out like this. It's an interactive way to show the history of technology and its impact on books.
Gallery docent Melissa Santoyo says technology offers students interactive tasks that make reading more fun.
The pop-up books, you can actually move them with your finger and then flip the pages, and then they also have activities that go with the book too. So that's really interesting.
Another attention grabber was the elephant in the room, a piece called The Day of Celebration, made from 910 books. But nothing was as captivating as discovering these new technologies for the first time. Turning Pages will continue in the gallery until May 30th. I'm Jody Parkinson, Fresno State Focus.
Sports. Could the Fresno State Bulldogs be on their way to a legendary season? We'll find out.
Plus, we'll hear Derek Carr's take on Pro Day and see how well our dogs performed. Sports with Mike Sanchez is coming up.